University of Virginia on the campus of Southern Virginia University with the today's USA South Tournament first round games featuring number 7 Meredith College and number 2 Southern Virginia University. The USA South Athletic Conference and NCAA promotes sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and fans. The tournament, the mandatory tournament, where every single women athlete is selected as student athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated in a grounds for the rules. Thank you for your assistance in providing a positive atmosphere. In accordance with tradition at Southern Virginia University, we will begin with the prayer, which will be offered by Warren Jackson of Senior from Saratoga Springs, Utah, Maven, Indiana.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this day and the chance that we have to play the game that we love. We're so grateful that Meredith traveled here safely. We pray that as they travel home tonight that they will do so safely. Heavenly Father, we pray that we will be able to have a great game today, that nobody will get hurt, and that both teams will be able to play their best. Heavenly Father, we pray that those who are traveling at this time will be safe, and that individuals and families at home who are watching or maybe going through different trials at this time may be able to feel thy love. We're so grateful for thee and the chance to play this university where we get to represent our Savior Jesus Christ. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now for the starting lineup. First from the visitors from Meredith College. At number 25, Kendall Carroll. At number 4, Ellie Keeney. At number 7, Cameron Horton. At number 8, Hannah Turner. At number 10, Isabella Stafford. At number 15, Emma Stone. At number 16, Lucy Miller. At number 17, Claire Wagner. At number 21, Emily Langley. At number 23, Grace Enzyme. And goal number 1, Samantha Woodson. Angels are coached by Christy King, assisted by Chris Alicio, Meredith Warren, and Rebecca Morrison. And now, starting for the night. Number 2, Courtney Montez. Number 4, Haley Gadd. Number 6, Lucy Skidmore. Number 8, Esty Schneider. At 4, number 10, Zoe Warner. At number 14, Ashley Tessie. At number 15, Ashley Hamlet. At number 16, Dolan Peterson. At number 20, Emily Rosenbaum. At 4, number 33, Natalie Blazer. And in goal for the night, number 0, Beth Manuel. The Knights are coached by Rob Dahl and assisted by Blake Coach. Now if you will all please rise and take the flag for our nation's national anthem, which will be performed by Ezekiel Gonzalez, a music major from California.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia University. I'm Colby Kemp, and tonight I am joined by Cece Bands here as the Southern Virginia women's soccer team hosts the Meredith Avenging Angels in the first round of the USA South Conference Tournament. Cece, the Knights come into tonight's contest as the number 2 seeded team in the conference. They fell 1 week ago in a hard-fought match against the eventual regular season champion Brevard. Tonight, they look to advance to the semifinals, though, which would come as a result of a victory over Meredith. Meredith will be here, trying to prevent that from happening. But should be an exciting soccer match here tonight.
No, it definitely should be, as both of these teams, they're done with their regular season, and as they're playing in this conference tournament, it really, so much can happen, so much can be determined. And I mean, this is when some of the best can come out. This is when these girls, these ladies can really put forth their best effort. So it'll be exciting to see what both of these teams do in order to advance.
No, it's an exciting time of year. This is the first, conference tournament, really, at least in team sports. It's kicking off here today. Meredith, they will start with possession here. Meredith in white, and the Knights are wearing their new black uniforms here for the conference tournament. Ball played forward there, looking for Zoe Warner. And that is the goalkeeper for Meredith. It comes out and picks that up. Samantha Woodfin starts in goal for Meredith.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if Southern Virginia did more of that tonight, as they put forth more of these long balls up, especially with Zoe Warner or Delynn Peterson, as that's something that they've been doing so far this season that's worked out really well, as both of those players are quite speedy, and that's one of their skills, is being able to just go up and get those balls and really just get those shots on goal.
Yeah, Zoe Warner is always moving around, always pushing. Seems like she never slows down at all. And Delynn Peterson, she's really capable of taking the ball and moving it down the field with ease. And they've formed a very good duo out front, both freshmen. Delynn Peterson, she is the conference's leading goal scorer with 13, and Zoe came in with 11.
No, exactly. Both of those players really just making an impact this year, not only for Southern Virginia, but on the USA South Conference. And just like you said, like they're first and third in conference in those on goals, but also in shots on goal. They're in second and fourth, respectively, really just putting themselves out there in every area.
A lot of freshmen on the field for this Knights squad. As they press forward, looking to find some space. Good defense by Meredith. That's number 7, Jaylyn Thornton.
Knights applying a lot of pressure just immediately right off the start. Just really trying to put off a good effort on this offensive end.
Shot taken there by Delynn Peterson. Goes up and over goal. This will be a goal kick. Cece, we see right there how the Knights are really pressuring Meredith with the ball even deep in Meredith's end.
Yeah, Southern Virginia, they're really skilled defenders. They're really skilled offensive players, but defense is what is going to make a big impact on this game tonight.
They play good defense. They prefer to play most of their defense on their offensive side of the field, though. And they know they've got one of the conference best defenders in the back, Haley Gadd. Haley's the senior that has really anchored that back line for 4 years now. Ball played in, be picked up by Beth Manuel, the freshman goalkeeper for Southern Virginia. And there, a misplay defensively leads to a quick shot by Meredith, easily handled by Beth. Southern Virginia brings the ball up. We'll go over the starters real quick here. Kendall Carroll starting for Meredith, along with Grace Ensign, Ellie Heaney, Emma Joliffe, Emily Langley, Lucy Miller, Isabella Stafford, Jaylyn Thornton, Hannah Turner, Claire Wagner, and in goal, like we've mentioned already, is Samantha Woodfin. Knights are playing around with the ball in their defensive side of the field. Good ball to open up the near side. Ball's now gone forward. Knights looking for a cross.
Oh, some really good ball movement coming in from Lucy Skidmore as well as Natalie Blazer. Really just being able to move the ball around and see that open space, just kind of put it exactly where they wanted to place that.
Starting for Southern Virginia, we mentioned in goal Beth Manuel. The Knights run up the far side, a ball crossed, and Zoe Warner just unable to get on the end of that cross.
That one could have been very dangerous, as she was right there. Zoe was ready for that one. And that was a really good pass, just looking at that right angle, unfortunately they were unable to make that connection, but that was a really good opportunity.
Corner kick, service coming in, ball's in the area, and it will go out for a goal kick. So along with Beth Manuel, Courtney Montez, Haley Gadd, Lucy Skidmore, Esty Schneider, Zoe Warner, Ashley Kelsey, Ashley Hamblin, Delynn Peterson, Emily Rosenbaum, and Natalie Blazer round out the starters for Southern Virginia. Ball is played out, will be a throw in for Southern Virginia. Zoe Warner. Her cross is blocked. She comes away with the ball once again. And a long shot taken by Ashley Hamblin.
That was a really good look right there, being able to just see that there was that opportunity to be taken.
Knights already back in possession. Natalie Blazer plays one forward. Zoe Warner. Esty Schneider now. She'll take a long shot.
It's a really good ball movement, being able to just control that, kind of just move it around from that defender.
The Knights, they're great at that ball movement. That long attempt by Esty Schneider had to be pushed away from the goal by Woodfin, so that'll be another corner kick for Southern Virginia. Southern Virginia led the conference in corner kicks earned during the conference season.
Some good clearance by the Meredith defense, but Southern Virginia immediately is just ready to take that once again and just push it onto that offensive end. Some good defense coming in from Meredith.
And that will result in another corner for Southern Virginia. Well defended by Meredith. They'll look to clear. So Cece on the conference season, Southern Virginia, they earned 73 corners. The next closest to that was Brevard with 49. So 24 more corners.
I think that shows how much Southern Virginia really pushes on these, not only on these shots on goal, but like pushes a lot of pressure onto the defensive side of their opponents. Because the more that you're putting a lot of pressure on that offensive end, the more you're going to get those opportunities in the corners, because you're forcing that defense to really just force the ball in the opposite direction, to clear it, which can really sometimes mean just forcing those corner kicks.
No, absolutely. We were discussing a little bit before this match started that we expected to see Southern Virginia really press forward, right? And that's kind of the name of their game. You know, I joked a little while ago about them wanting to play defense on their offensive side of the field, but that's really what they aim to do, is keep the ball on the half of the field that they're trying to score on.
Some really good hustle by Natalie Blazer that we've seen tonight, that she's just getting those long balls, running up there to keep that ball in.
Cross made there by Lucy Skidmore. Nobody was making a run, so that'll be a goal kick for Woodfin. Meredith with possession right around midfield, and Southern Virginia takes possession. Courtney Montez. They'll play it back. Haley Gadd, and she'll take it all the way back to Beth. Knights just passing back and forth, waiting for some space to open up that they can play offense.
I think this just shows the wonderful chemistry that's with these Knights players. Like, they know when they need to hold it, they know and they trust their teammates when they need to push it forward, when they need to really send those long balls, but also it shows the patience that they have, that they're just willing to wait until, like you said, Colby, like that, until that space opens up.
Esty Schneider. And a foul will be called, so the Knights have a free kick, and hustling up to take the free kick from about 40 yards out is Haley Gadd. Haley is always good at these set pieces.
Yes, anytime there's that opportunity, she runs up and she goes ahead and takes it.
She sends it into the area, and that's handled easily by Woodfin. Looked like Haley was trying to send in maybe a 50-50 type ball, hoping that maybe there'd be some traffic in front of Woodfin that might get a foot or a head on the ball. In the end, Woodfin was by herself, able to make the play. And there we see another corner for the Knights. Already their fourth of the evening. In just under 13 minutes of play. Ball into the area. On the ground and deflected. And that will go up and over and be a goal kick for Meredith.
Yeah, even in that play, you could just tell there was a ton of traffic going on. Multiple players trying to see where the ball was going, looking for those deflections. And really just kind of just waiting to see what was going to happen exactly.
Natalie Blazer with the cross. Ashley Hamblin right in the middle. Lays that off. And a Knight player making a run to the goal, got a foot on it, but couldn't quite put it on target. That's SD Schneider. What a great look there by Natalie.
Yeah, that was some great plays, right? That was a great play right there. Just really being able to see that open spot, send it towards the middle. It's a really beautiful play coming in from the Knights, and unfortunately that one was just barely wide.
That was probably the most dangerous possession so far this evening. Ball was right on the ground, right about 10 yards from the mouth of the goal. Southern Virginia once again on the ball. In the final third on offense. Ball played into the area, and it will go through and just roll out and be a throw in for Meredith. And a shot hit by Ashley Kelsey. Once again is knocked away by Woodfin, and we will have the fifth corner of the evening coming up. Courtney Montez.
That was a wonderful thing that we love to see, is when that space opens up right in the middle, being able to see those shots and just take them.
Montez plays that corner to the top of the area. Meredith able to clear it. It'll be a throw in for the Knights. Yeah, the Knight players, they're so offensive minded that they're looking for space, looking for somebody running, and it's so quick, the passes that they make into that space.
And that's exactly what you, as a coach, what you want to be, what you want to see. As Coach Dahl, I'm sure he's really proud, very proud of these players, because he sees the talent that they have, but the opportunities that they take and that they make as a team.
Another shot attempted by SD Schneider. Goes a little wide. So Woodfin again with a goal kick. Lucy Skidmore. And Zoe Warner now. She will take it and search. And the Knights will play it back to midfield to Haley Gadd. She plays a ball forward. And that will result in the sixth corner of the evening.
And that's exactly like we've been saying. That's something that Southern Virginia is very good at. Forcing these corners, giving themselves these chances.
Woodfin attempts to punch the corner, and there's a collision there in about the 6-yard mark. I believe it was Woodfin and Zoe Warner. Foul will be called, so it'll be free kick for Meredith. Woodfin able to come to her feet. Referee will give her a second to check herself out.
That's good to see that she's able to stand up and be walking and moving, frankly. You never want any player to have any of those injuries happening.
No, absolutely not. So often on those corners, there's so much traffic there in front of the goal. The goalie always has the right of way, but so easy to come down on somebody. You know, there's heads bobbing around, and
there's no control.
Come down on a foot possibly. But good to see Woodfin able to get up and stay in the game. That ball goes out for a throw-in for the Avenging Angels. And now throw in for Southern Virginia. Natalie Blazer will hand it off to Lucy Skidmore. Zoe will play it back to Haley. The Knights continue to push forward. Ashley Kelsey plays it forward. And strong defense played there by Meredith, able to take possession. Actually, the referee says she was not able to get that before it went over the goal line. So this will be yet another corner for Southern Virginia.
And that was a good attack from Courtney Montez, really just like pushing that one forward on that right side. And she was, even with this corner kick, ready to just go immediately and take that.
You know, it was good offense by the Knights. Good ball played forward there by Ashley Kelsey to Montez. Good service there by Courtney Montez, but the Knights unable to get good contact. It'll be a goal kick.
Now we keep talking about all of these corner kicks that have been happening with Southern Virginia, and they're giving the Knights these chances to take these shots on goal, but also so many of them have just been so close. They're these good opportunities and these good. They see what they can do. Unfortunately, unable to connect with them yet so far.
Once again, Knights with a dangerous possession inside the area. A good cross by Zoe Warner. But again, Meredith able to defend. Cece, it has to be difficult for the opposing coaches to devise a plan to try and contain this Knight offense. There's so many players that will just keep coming after, just keep pushing, so much space on that field.
And
Coach.
If you look even and you're looking at the field, you can even see that most of their players are kind of just pushing on that offensive side, like you're saying.
Yeah, Knights typically are able to really control the possession of every match they play. Right now, the Knights have 10 shots, while Meredith has 2. Courtney Montez, Eshti Schneider, she plays it forward, and the flag is up. So that will be offsides. Zoe Warner, well, she's really trying to figure out how to stay onside. She knew that they were looking her way. But in the end, I think the defender just stepped up a little bit to ensure the offsides.
The one nice thing, though, about having these little plays where, yes, it was offsides, but seeing that you can make those goals, you can take those shots. It kind of gives you a little bit a moment of confidence, and also in the fact that, okay, maybe I need to take a step forward or backwards so that I'm not causing anything to happen, but also being aware that, okay, I can do this still.
Lucy Skidmore now. Attempts to go to Zoe Warner. Meredith able to take possession, but the Knights already retake. Zoe Warner sends it forward. Courtney Montez gives chase, but Woodfin will come out and pick the ball up off the turf. Ashley Kelsey takes it away.
She was in the right place at the right time, able to just take that step forward, intercept that punt.
Yeah, it looked like she was getting ready and just couldn't quite get her footing there to take the shot that she wanted. Knights to the near side. Natalie Blazer. Good ball up and over. Dangerous spot and a great save by Woodfin.
Really great dive, able to just be there at that right spot, perfect angle of that shot.
Great little chip shot forward by Blazer there. Really, put Ashley Kelsey in great position, but a great diving save by Woodfin.
You can even just see in each of these plays when Southern Virginia is really just trying to advance the ball forward, how much they're not giving up. They're very determined to keep pushing that, putting that pressure on the defense, but really to just keep taking those shots.
Courtney Montez steps up, makes a run. Zoe now picks it up, sends a pass to the referee. So he'll restart.
Once again, another little collision with the referee. Looks like he might want to get some action too.
I guess so. He's like, well, Zoe, willing to pass the ball. Before he became a referee, he must have been quite the goal scorer, right? Right off the reset, he was right there once again. So goal kick coming up for Meredith. Knights take over at midfield. Meredith trying to play through Ellie Heaney, number 4 there at the midfield. Knights play good defense, and Ashley Hamblin will send it back to Beth in goal. Lucy Skidmore chases it down and sends it out of bounds for a throw-in for Meredith.
Meredith really looking to relish this time on their offensive end, trying to get their best shot.
Hannah Turner and also Kendall Carroll trying to make something happen there before the Knight defense was able to retake possession. Rosenbaum. Playing strong defense on the far side. Be a throw in for Meredith.
Once again, some good defense from the Knights, really just trying to clear it out, force it the opposite direction.
You just see every time they get it, even though they're on their defensive side of midfield, seems like so often they just try to send it the other direction, knowing that, Zoe's always, down to give chase.
Yes, that's what Southern Virginia, they do so many times. They just know, let's push it forward, let's push it forward. Let's send it up that direction because we know that our players can do that.
That will be played out of bounds. Throw in, Southern Virginia. Skidmore. Referee holds him up. We get two substitutes coming on for Southern Virginia. Mattia Murray and McKenna Curry are the two that come on. Tia sends it forward to Zoe. Zoe looking for a way around the Meredith defender.
Able to kind of sneak her way through for a minute.
So Esty Schneider and Natalie Blazer are the two Knights that go off the field for a little rest. They both put in good minutes, trying to create something offensively. Thornton for Meredith. She'll run the ball down and play forward. Ellie Heaney gives chase. And Ashley Hamblin will just play that out of bounds for a throw-in for Meredith. Another throw-in for Meredith coming up. Ball played into the area. Dangerous ball. Beth Manuel will leave her line. Ball still not in her possession. Eventually she's able to pick that up and the Knights will head the other direction. So a dangerous moment there for Meredith right there in front of the goal.
Yeah, that one just being able to kind of bounce right in front of each of those Knight players. Thankfully, they're able to kind of surround it as well as Beth Manuel, was able to get her hand on it. Took a second, but just like you're saying, Colby, that was a good shot and a good opportunity taken from the Avenging Angels.
Courtney Montez wins the ball just this side of midfield. She'll take a run. Delynn Peterson sends a cross and it's deflected, and that will be the 8th corner of the first half for Southern Virginia. So we are now ticking down toward 14 minutes remaining in this first half. Another substitution for the Knights. Looks like that was Lucy Skidmore that will go off the pitch. And the service off the corner goes out, so it'll be a goal kick.
That was a high, powerful kick, a little too far to the right.
I believe it's Tessa Miller that came on for Skidmore. It is Tessa Miller. Free kick coming for Southern Virginia from the far side, service into the area. And that will be headed out over the goal line, so it'll be a goal kick coming up for Woodfin.
That was a great contact, sending that right into where all that traffic was. Hopefully looking to make something happen, get some energy going.
Looks like another substitution made by Southern Virginia.
It's one of the exciting things that we love to see that comes from Southern Virginia is there's all these substitutions that can happen, but there's so many of these talented players that are coming off of Southern Virginia's bench. They have a deep roster of skilled players that are very talented, and so anytime one of these substitutions happen, you shouldn't really expect anything different. You can fully expect the play to still be as powerful, as energetic as it was before.
That's the other difficult thing, talking about, an opposing coach, is there's an attempt there. There really is no break when Coach Dahl starts making substitutions. Whoever's coming on, they're just as potent offensively as the player they're replacing. Addie Newman, she's the player that came on at that last dead ball. So Ashley Kelsey goes out. Addison Newman comes in her place. Still a very dangerous player. McKenna Curry plays the ball forward. And a shot attempt from DeLynn Peterson. Looking for Zoe Warner. And Meredith is able to step up defensively and play that out. It'll be a throw-in for Southern Virginia. Looks like 2 more subs will be made by Coach Rob Dahl.
Knight's looking to push something more into the middle, get some shots on.
Ball goes out of bounds for a throw-in. So Emily Rosenbaum and Ashley Hamblin were the last 2 Knights to go off, and in their places came Lauren Madsen and Rachel Bodkin. McKenna Curry gives chase, looking to create something. Meredith comes away. That's Kendall Carroll.
One of the fun things to always see is, we've mentioned this previously, but to see Zoe Warner running between everybody, as she's one of those players that she's always just moving around. She's always ready to be in a spot, ready to make something happen. And we can just see her running between each of these players, looking to apply pressure and play some good defense, but also just be ready to intercept a pass and take that opportunity.
It seems though she never rests. If the ball's rolling, she's running. Haley Gadd. That ball is taken away by Meredith. Taken right back. DeLynn Peterson coming up that far side, pushes forward Zoe Warner. Takes a cross, and that goes all the way across. And not sure if Meredith got that. They did not touch it, so that will be a goal kick coming up.
That was a perfect pass, really looking to see where any of those other Southern Virginia players were. Tia Murray was almost just barely a step behind, but that was a really good look, though, as that was the perfect line and a perfect place to really intercept that and take a shot.
That was a good ball played across. And that's the thing. Knights just keep putting that pressure, right? That ball's going to be in the area for a long time. You know, the Knights, they're taught just to run toward the goal. The ball will find you.
No, exactly. And if you're in the area of the goal, then you can get a deflection. You can get so many things can happen.
McKenna Curry here on the near side looking for a cross. Sends it just behind two Knights that were making their way toward the goal. Meredith. And just like that, the Knights take it back and a through ball. And Woodfin is able to beat Warner to the ball. Meredith attempting to come up the far side of the field, but the Knights defend that well. Tessa Miller to Lauren Madsen. Madsen finds Zoe Warner up ahead. She sends it to Addie Newman. And that was dangerous as the clear there was attempted by Grace Ensign. It actually ricocheted off of Addie Newman and headed toward the goal, but fortunately for Meredith, it was still off target.
Now the Knights, they keep having these great chances where they get these looks, they get these really good passes going that they're just barely, they're so close.
Foul is called on Meredith, about 40 yards out. And we already know who comes hustling up from their defense position.
Haley Gadd is always ready.
Ball played into the area. Once again, Woodfin comes off her line to punch the ball, and it deflects, but another attempt once again is wide left. You know, Cece, we're nearing 5.5 minutes left in this first half. We've been talking a lot about the Knight offense really pushing forward. You know, I'm going to give a shout out to this Meredith defense. You know, this is kind of like in football terms where we talk about bend but don't break, and that's kind of what we're seeing here from them.
Yes, they've been playing really well and doing really well, being able to just show that what they're capable of in their defensive areas, really, to just prevent Southern Virginia from doing what they do best.
And for the most part, even though, you know, a lot of the possession has been on the Knights' offensive half of the field, there haven't really been as many dangerous moments, you know, for Meredith in defending their goal as you might think. It's kind of letting the Knights have their possession, bat it around a little bit, and when it's necessary, they're able to clear it out of bounds, off the line, whatever they need to do. So far, good play by Coach Kirsty King's team to keep this game at a 0-0 tie, as we're now just 4.5 minutes from the break.
And Colby, that was something that you and I were even talking about before this game started, is that when you get these early goals, when you get these early shots, you get the energy going in your direction, but you also get that confidence for your team going, especially in this first conference round, is you want that confidence to go for your team so you can continue forward to keep going in this conference tournament.
Kennedy Gaston onto the pitch for Meredith, and almost immediately she had possession with some room to work. That was defended well by the Knights. Now the Knights have a throw in on the far side.
Zoe Warner once again just sneaking her way through, weaving her way through all the players, just running around getting the ball and immediately just running to an open spot.
forward, looking for Lauren Madsen.
That was some good defense from the Avenging Angels. As you could see, some of the defenders, as Lauren Madsen was really hustling to get towards that ball, really just to make that connection. But you could see some of the defenders of Meredith just stepping in front of her, kind of forcing her to slow down and giving space for their keeper and for also more defenders to just come up and clear that away.
Courtney Montez sends it forward, and that ball is played. Once again, that will result in a corner for the Knights.
Some good defense.
Clearance by Meredith. Southern Virginia able to get around that ball, and now a missed touch by Meredith will send it over the line once again for another corner. SVU plays it quickly.
That's something that SVU has been doing recently. They get the ball, they're immediately throwing it in. They're really being urgent and playing and really just getting something going.
Meredith plays it out for another corner for SVU. Ball's on the ground in the area. SVU looking to find a shot. And in the end, a volley to Courtney Montez. She makes an attempt out of the air. Goes a little high.
A little powerful, but you could even hear kind of the crowd, everybody being very excited, just seeing and waiting what was going to happen with that.
There was a lot of space in that goal, but she just couldn't get on top of that. So it sailed well over the crossbar.
Some more good offensive push coming from Southern Virginia.
McKenna Curry plays it up and over the top, looking for Zoe Warner, and the flag went up once again, offsides. Zoe got a lot of foot on that, but it was stopped either way by Woodfin. And with that, we come to the end of the first half. So, 45 minutes, that seems to have gone by pretty quickly. A lot of offense on, the Meredith defensive side of the field, but in the end, Meredith has been up to the task thus far, able to defend their goal very well. So we'll head to halftime in a 0-0 scoreless tie.
Yes, and it will be exciting to see what will happen in the second half, whether or not they will be able to keep up that good defense and whether or not Southern Virginia will continue to put on that offensive pressure.
I'm pretty certain we'll continue to see that offensive pressure. 0-0 doesn't do anybody any good. Maybe it prolongs the game a little bit into an overtime, but we'd expect to see that continued pressure by Southern Virginia. So we'll go ahead and take this break and hope everybody joins us here for the second half.
first contestant almost makes it onto the mat head. Number 2. He saw it. Let's see what number 2 does. Congratulations to contestant number 2. This 100. Applause for our contest winner. Please stay tuned for further Southern Virginia University Athletic events. more opportunities to win at SVU Meredith.
Welcome back here to Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia University. Just coming back from halftime here at this first round matchup of the USA South Conference Tournament matchup between Meredith and Southern Virginia. I'm Colby Kemp along with CC Bands, and CC again, two teams played to a scoreless tie there in the first half.
Yeah, that is something that is going to really motivate both of these teams, especially in the second half, because if it goes scoreless, that's when it goes overtime and more things happen. It gets a little more complicated, but it's really going to just amp up the energy, getting both of these teams the idea, okay, we need a score, we need to get something going, and that's just going to bring some more excitement.
Yeah, going into halftime, I think that Coach Kirsty King from Meredith, I think she's happy with the result, still in a 0-0 game, whereas the Knights, for as much as they held the ball in that first half, they would have loved to have a goal. But again, hats off to Meredith with some very stingy defense. The Knights begin the second half with possession. Be played out and have a throw in for Southern Virginia on the far side. Cross is made there and will go over the goal line. The goal kick. Ball quickly stolen away by Southern Virginia. Looks like ball went over the line, so it'll be throw in now for Meredith. Ellie Heaney for Meredith, senior midfielder, comes away with ball and then a throw in. Ball will be played back to Beth Manuel, and the Knights will turn around and head up the pitch. Mentioned Ellie Heaney just a moment ago. One of our staff members had an opportunity to chat briefly with her father. He asked us to give a shout out to Ellie's grandfather, Francis Connors, who we imagine is watching this matchup here. Mr. Connors, recently diagnosed with cancer, and all of us here at Southern Virginia University want to wish him well as he battles. But know that your family and those of us at Southern Virginia, our thoughts are with you and thinking of you at this time. Play continues. Meredith able to clear the ball.
Southern Virginia immediately just bouncing back, ready to really just advance that ball and keep it on that offensive end.
Under pressure from Zoe Warner, Meredith sends it out of bounds and a throw in. Zoe will make a cross. Knights playing through the middle, and a shot toward goal by Ashley Kelsey.
Nice soft touch. Good shot nonetheless.
Woodfin able to make the save. Now Delynn Peterson coming to the near side with possession. One thing Meredith hasn't been giving Delynn Peterson a whole lot of room to work with.
No, they definitely have done their homework, knowing that Delynn Peterson is a player that has really outdone herself throughout this conference and throughout this season. And when you shut her down, you're stopping a really powerful player. I mean, that doesn't mean that you're shutting down the whole team, as Southern Virginia has really talented players all around. It just is taking away one of their spots that they have a lot of strength in.
Meredith now looking to push the ball forward. Played forward. And the Knights retake possession. The ball sent up the far sideline. Zoe Warner able to track it down. She sends the ball to the top of the area that is then cleared by Meredith. Teams volley back and forth around midfield before Lucy Skidmore is able to, rather Emily Rosenbaum sends it back to Beth Manuel. Knights restart. Zoe Warner pushes it a little too far forward. It goes out of play for a throw in for Meredith. And that will be a foul called. Be a free kick for Meredith. So they send their players forward as they'll push this forward.
Something new this half that we did see, but we're seeing definitely more of in this half is an offensive push coming from Meredith, as they are really trying to get something going on that offensive end. They've had a few more chances where they're inching the ball forward on Southern Virginia's defensive side, and it'll be interesting to see what Southern Virginia does as they continue to play good defense, but what exactly they're going to do to adapt to that.
No, exactly. They, speaking of Meredith, seem to be a little bit more dedicated to an offensive push. Ashley Kelsey sends the ball forward. The Knights are going to get to the end of that, and the shot, and it's going to be a goal, Southern Virginia. And that's Natalie Blazer getting on the end of that pass. It was such a good pass. She was able to run past the defender, and in the end, all she had to do was beat the goalkeeper. Made one touch, got around her, and calmly put that ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, that was some great ball handling, being able, just like you said, Khalid, to just have that slight touch, move that away from the keeper, and really just advance that and have that nice just pass into the net.
Great ball played forward by Ashley Kelsey into space. She saw that, pushed it forward, and Natalie Blazer, she left the defender behind her. And even though it was a great play, that's probably one of the easier goals that Natalie Blazer scored in recent memory. Foul whistled on Meredith. So Knights with the restart. And now, Cece, it will be interesting to see how that goal there changes the way this match is being played, as Meredith now, they're going to have to commit themselves even more to that offensive side to try and find that equalizer. And in doing so, they might leave some space, for the Knights to continue to attack.
No, exactly. Really try and, one, bounce back from a goal and just prevent any more goals from happening.
Courtney Montez plays the ball forward. Knights now looking for another shot. And there's a player down for Meredith. Looked like a little bit of a collision that happened on the initial play forward. It's number 21, Emily Langley. We have a timeout on the field as the trainers come out to take a look at Emily. We'll go ahead and take the break and be back with you in just a few moments. back with you now. Happy to report that Emily Langley is up and making her way toward the Meredith bench. Has a little assistance, but she is under her own power for the most part. We're happy to see that. Langley is a junior out of Morehead City, North Carolina.
And that's something you never want to see. You always want to be able to have, sports, you're going to run into people. These collisions happen, but you always want to be able to see everybody get back up and be okay, make their way off the field if necessary, but also just be all right.
No, it's always good to see, like you said, injuries, they are going to happen from time to time, but it's always good to see those players being able to get up, leave the field under their own power. So play will resume. Looks like it will be a throw in for Meredith. They play it out of bounds. Good sportsmanship there, as the Knights had played it out of bounds so that the injured player could be attended to, and Meredith returns the favor. So Knights will look to set up offense. Haley Gadd with the ball forward. Gets just up and over the defender for Meredith. And Woodfin, she comes off her line to make the save. Zoe Warner, as you would expect, was giving chase to that ball.
Yeah, that was a perfect pass, just like you said, being able to go over that defender. Really perfectly executed by Haley Gadd.
And a little miscommunication by the Knights on defense gave Meredith an unexpected shot, albeit a long shot. Beth Mann was able to run back and make the save. But a bit of an anxious moment there for Knight fans.
A little unexpected, as rolled right into Meredith.
Zoe Warner. Emily Rosenbaum sends it toward the area. Natalie Blazer attempting to turn that ball and turn it into a shot on goal. Just unable to do that with the defender on her back, and it goes out of play for a goal kick for Meredith. Misty Schneider sends a ball forward. No Knights giving chase, so Meredith will resume possession. Zoe Warner with the cross.
Some good defense being able to halt that, as that was going to be a perfect spot.
Yeah, there were a couple Knight players there looking to get on the other end of that pass. Good offensive play by the Knights. Nice touch. And good defense by Meredith to step up. Courtney Montez. And again, Southern Virginia takes over possession around midfield. Ball played forward.
It was a good hustle and good effort to get there.
I believe that's Natalie Blazer hustling to get to that.
that's a player that we never fail to see hustle. Anytime the ball is in her, even in her vicinity, she is someone that is really putting her best effort forward to just really get control of the ball or get on that defensively to just get there.
And she's kind of the type of player where she's quietly solid, where, you know, she does so much on the field for the Knights, but maybe not the one that always gets a lot of the attention. But so many times good things start when the ball's on the foot of Natalie Blazer.
And that's what you need as a team. Sometimes you need those players that are really those ones that, like you said, get attention, but also the ones that are really make up the backbone of a team are the ones that don't always get a lot of credit for it.
Ashley Hamblin brings the ball up across midfield. Courtney Montez, once again, well defended by Meredith. Lynn Peterson sends the ball across, and Meredith is able to take possession. They'll clear it for a throw in for Southern Virginia. And there's a shot taken by DeLynn Peterson.
A powerful shot, too, right in the middle of the field.
Well struck ball, but the save easily made by Woodfin. She was well placed to defend that shot. Ashley Kelsey was actually the player that took that shot for Southern Virginia. Zoe plays a ball forward. Natalie Blazer and Kelsey looking to pick that up, but again, Meredith defends it well. The Knights pressing to the top of the box and a shot taken. Sails wide right. That'll be a goal kick for Meredith.
That was a good shot. We've seen so many good shots that have happened tonight. Nothing quite super solid that has, I mean, we've seen one goal that's gone in, but there's been so many just barely short opportunities.
Montez comes out of a double team with possession, sends it forward. Again, Meredith is right there to clear it out of bounds. The two subs, it looks like, coming on for Southern Virginia. Like an offsides is called there. So free kick forthcoming for Meredith. McKenna Curry and Tia Murray, the two Knights that came onto the pitch. Sending off Natalie Blazer and Esty Schneider. McKenna Curry working in the middle of the field looking for a shot. A long shot taken by Courtney Montez is deflected off of Meredith defenders.
McKenna Curry is also one of those players that has come in, and anytime that she's in, things start to happen. As both, when she came in the first half, she was immediately right at the ball. She was immediately making a play, getting something going. And once again, we could even just see a minute ago, as soon as she was in, she was ready to make an impact.
Here she is again. Heaney able to strip Curry of possession. But you're right, McKenna Curry, she comes onto the field. You know, another one of the freshmen that Coach Dahl has. And you know, she was Rookie of the Week a couple weeks ago, having some good games as well. Once again, a foul called. It'll be a free kick for Southern Virginia right around midfield.
Some great defense going from number 20, Emily Rosenbaum, as she was really just putting her body, being very vulnerable, just trying to get in front of the ball and protect the possession that Southern Virginia had.
And another collision inside the penalty area. Woodfin is down. Looks like Ashley Kelsey was the player that was trying to get to that ball. And again, it was kind of one of those 50-50 balls. Woodfin made a good play on the ball. She is up.
It really is so awesome to see the talent of so many different players, that there's so many different people that we can talk about from both of these teams that have really stepped up or stepped forward to try and really make an impact, but also to just help their team advance. And there's so many things that people are doing tonight that we can see on both sides, from Meredith and Southern Virginia, that people are doing, that these players are doing, that is really, really just showing itself tonight.
Absolutely. You know, we talked before the match started how Meredith, they scored 7 goals throughout conference play, and the 7 goals were scored by 7 different players. So, you know, the type of players will go out and do what the coach asks them to do. You don't know where the goal may come from, but as we can see here, it has been the case. They're all committed to playing the best defense they can to prevent these goals, and goals being scored by Southern Virginia. Zoe Warner comes back to take control of the ball. Haley Gadd sends it forward looking for Warner. Montez takes it off the deflection. Now Rosenbaum, she also looking for Warner. There's a little bit of a collision there at the top of the area. And the referee is going to give a foul against Southern Virginia, so that'll be a free kick, which it looks like Woodfin will step up and take for Meredith. Francine Rast, substitute that has come on for Meredith. Ashley Kelsey plays it forward, and it's going to be a foot race between Woodfin and I believe
that's Tia Murray.
I was going to say, I think that's Tia over there, since she had checked in a few moments ago. Ashley Kelsey looking to create an angle for a shot. She'll back it out a little bit. trying to work the far sideline a little bit. Rosenbaum at midfield.
We can see that Meredith is really starting to just apply more and more defense, but really more and more pressure on the ball as they're just trying to prevent Southern Virginia from going forward more, but also they're trying to get more going on their offensive end.
DeLynn Peterson made a great run and a great cross. Zoe Warner was able to get a little bit on that, but it was well defended again by Meredith.
Some great ball control by McKenna Curry.
Courtney Montez sets up a shot, goes into the area, and Tia Murray was there and just unable to get the right direction on that. But I'm not sure if Montez meant to make that as a shot or a pass. Either way, it ended up going right into the perfect spot for Tia Murray to take a shot. And right there, Meredith was able to dodge a bullet there because that came so close to being the second goal for Southern Virginia this evening.
That was a really great line, actually, where Tia was running in from. It's a perfect impact angle, really, to just be able to intercept that pass, shot, whatever we'd like to call it. She's just in the right place.
Rachel Bodkin now comes on for Southern Virginia. And that will be a foul on Meredith. So the Knights will have a free kick on the near sideline. Actually a throw in, so no foul called on that play. Besides Bodkin coming on, Tessa Miller and Lauren Madsen also into the match for SVU. And another cross. Ball is set, looking for a shot, and again, well defended, but another shot taken, and that's going to go in for a goal for Southern Virginia. And that, I believe, is off the head of Tia Murray.
All of those Southern Virginia players just being in the right, we've said this multiple times, but like being in the right place at the right time, really just seeing where they need to be, as there were multiple deflections and some really good defense coming in from Meredith, but also the Knights just being diligent and still just going and attempting more and more shots.
So we got a little excited there, and it looks like that goal was disallowed. So the score remains 1-0. Meredith has a throw in now. I didn't see it at the moment, but I believe, CC, that they got Tia Murray for being a little offsides on that one, which was difficult because as we were describing the action there, Meredith made a good clear. It was deflected, but immediately SVU was able to send it back toward the goal, and Tia was right there to make that touch.
That's something that it's just like hard to tell because there's so many people around, and also offsides is sometimes it's just finicky.
And the linesman on the field is on the near side, and very difficult for us to see, so if it was across the field, we would have been able to see it. So Meredith dodges another bullet there. Score remains 1-0 with just over 19 minutes remaining here in this first round matchup. The Knights have a corner. And that is punched away by Woodfin. And looks like that deflected off of an SVU player, so it'll be a goal kick. Couple more subs coming on for Coach Dahl.
It's been so interesting to see how Southern Virginia has had multiple times and multiple instances where it seems as though they've scored, or it seems as though they're like about to score, and they've either been offsides or there's been a foul or just some little thing that has happened that's really paused the play. And it's just so interesting to see that, because Southern Virginia, they keep going, and that's the best part, is that they don't give up, that they're going to keep going, and they see, okay, yes, we may or may not have done something, but that we're not going to let that deter us.
No, they just continue with the pressure, always want to be on the offensive end, always taking shots, kind of like the basketball where you don't make any shot you don't take. And, that's kind of what they do on offense. Take some shots, you never know how it's going to rebound. A shot may create another shot.
Exactly.
Subs that came on in that last break were Esty Schneider and Addison Newman. Also previously, Natalie Blazer came on, and Zoe Warner went to the bench to have a little break here. I'm sure to rest up for the final push. And Meredith also made one substitution. Savannah Walrick in. Knights play the ball forward along the far side. And a ball forward there to Courtney Montez.
And some great defense coming in from Woodfin. Once again, just really being able to block and save that one.
I was waiting to see if the official put his hand up for an offsides call, because again, she had that. She was loose, nobody there. And that ball was headed toward the goal if Woodfin had not been able to get her hands on it. Meredith making another substitution once again. Kennedy Gaston comes into the match. Claire Wagner goes out. And we saw in the first half, as soon as Gaston came on, she was able to get possession and make a little bit of a run. And right there, she had it, and the Knights commit a foul to stop the momentum that Meredith had with that possession. So it'll be a free kick near midfield for the Avenging Angels.
Some great contact and great shot from there.
Knights are able to clear it and immediately start heading in their offensive direction. Courtney Montez looking to prevent possession by Meredith. And it took a little bit of time, but eventually she was successful. Able to get a throw in for Southern Virginia. Lynn Peterson right there. She was one touch away from putting the ball into space, and she was going to be off to the races.
Yes, that's what she's done all season. She has that one touch, she'll get in front, and then immediately she's running forward.
Gaston now, middle of the field. Haley Gadd steps up, and a foul will be whistled. So Meredith in the middle of the field from about 40 yards out. 35 yards out. Maybe a little far for a direct opportunity, but they're close enough that something, we look to create something out of this. And the shot taken, and that is saved by Manuel. Isabella Stafford, the player that took that free kick.
Beth Manuel was successfully able to just really see that one perfectly clear. That was a great, kind of like you were saying, Colby, was that it's in that distance where it's like it could be a shot, could also just be a nice little pass to help your other players, but Manuel was in the perfect spot.
Southern Virginia with possession. Courtney Montez looking for a shot. Deflected off a defender, and Woodfin will pick that ball up. Meredith looking for Gaston around midfield. Knights take possession. And a little heavy with that touch. Will go over the goal line and be a goal kick for Woodfin. Another substitution. Being made by Meredith as we reach the 11.5-minute mark remaining.
Yeah, this is kind of the time when coaches really start to think, okay, what are we going to do to really push in these last few minutes? What are we going to do to really keep these players energized and to not let up for this last little bit? Because this is the home stretch. This is really where these last few bits of everything are really going to count.
Caroline Dickinson is the player that has come on for Meredith. Free kick taken. Cleared by Southern Virginia. Natalie Blazer. Misty Schneider. She lays it off, and there's a shot, and just wide left. So another good offensive opportunity for SVU. SVU back with possession. Bodkin to Montez. And that play will result in a throw-in for Southern Virginia. And now a host of substitutions back into the match for Southern Virginia. Like Zoe Warner back into the match is one of those substitutions.
And just like we were saying a minute ago, this is kind of the time when you want to get the fresh legs, you want to get the people that were, maybe not that were, but like also that are coming back into the game. You want to get the people that are really going to put that nice final run.
Haley Gadd with some tough defense on Gaston. Meredith will have a free kick. Lucy Skidmore into the match. Ashley Hamblin, Ashley Kelsey, and Emily Rosenbaum. And McKenna Curry, all substitutes at that last break for Southern Virginia. Ball is in the area for Meredith, and SVU able to clear it. Now heading the other direction with a counterattack. Ball played forward. That'll be cleared.
That previous play was getting into a little bit of dangerous territory as Meredith was really kind of inching forward on that offensive end.
Yeah, it looked like they were just one touch away from having a shot that would have tested Beth Manuel.
Sir, where's the offside?
And that ball is played out. It'll be a throw in for SVU. The Knights will switch the field, work down the far side. A good run, ball centered. And again, shot taken. Zoe Warner just not able to get the contact that she wanted on that.
Yeah, the ball kind of just rolled, kind of trickled, kind of slowly off of that touch. It's always kind of hard to do when it's coming at, from those side angles, they can either be really easy and at the perfect angle, or sometimes they can be on a little bit of a misstep. You might be on your left foot when it's coming in on that left foot side. So it's sometimes kind of hard to be able to have that perfect contact that you want.
No, we see it all the time in soccer. A good pass, a good play, and you know, to the observer, you think, oh, that should be a pretty easy goal right there, but it's not as easy as it looks. Ashley Kelsey looking for a teammate, but a little too much pace on that pass. She was hoping Lynn Peterson could get to that ball, but it was too far out in front. And now with 6 minutes remaining in the match, definitely in the home stretch now, Cece, as Meredith desperately needs to find that goal. And Southern Virginia, they'll be doing their best to not give that goal.
And even just as you're saying that, Colby, you could see two of the Meredith offensive players were just running towards Manuel as she was just even handling that ball, just ready to apply pressure and to just really jump on it if anything were to be a misstep.
Knights with possession at midfield. Emily Rosenbaum. And now Haley Gadd. She will send it forward. Zoe Warner looking to connect with that, but Woodfin comes out. Knights once again with possession. Curry and Heaney tries to take it away from Meredith, and now she does. A quick touch forward looking for Gaston. But again, the Knights are right there and quickly retake possession.
Southern Virginia really just trying to play, keep away, and just hold possession of the ball and just really prevent Meredith from doing anything that's going to put them in danger, put Southern Virginia really in danger.
The winner of this match will face Greensboro on Wednesday. Shot toward goal will be wide to the right. In the other three matches today, Mary Baldwin took a 1-0 victory over Methodist. Greensboro 2-0 over NC Wesleyan, and Brevard 3-1 over Salem. So Brevard and Mary Baldwin, they'll square off down in Brevard on Wednesday. And as I said, the winner of this will get Greensboro. Ashley Hamblin sends it to the far side. Skidmore. Ball into the middle of the field. Shot taken. And that's going to be a goal. Southern Virginia, with just over 3 minutes remaining, gets the goal to take a 2-0 lead here over Meredith.
See, that is the perfect timing, really, when you're just really fighting to keep possession of the ball, really just push in these last few minutes to see that opportunity, have a perfect take, and just take it.
And that was quick offense. Zoe Warner gets that goal with the assist by Ashley Kelsey. And we've seen Kelsey so many times this evening make those nice passes. She's assisted on both goals here this evening. And both of them were very, very good looks to her teammate. First Natalie Blazer, and this time Zoe Warner.
And that's a great player to see right there. One that's a really selfless player that's just knowing where they need to put the ball.
Throw in for Meredith. Kelsey now making another run. And just a little out in front of her teammate. Results in a throw in for Meredith. And just like that, SVU earns a throw in of their own. Haley Gadd sends it forward once again. As the Knights now, they just will do their best to let that clock keep ticking. Keep the ball a safe distance from Meredith's offensive side.
Whereas if you're Meredith, right now is really the time when you're really wanting to apply that pressure. You want to get control of the ball. You want to take possession. You just want to push. You want to get to that offensive side, get a goal, and immediately just get back on it and really just try and get yourselves on the scoreboard, but also get yourselves up there when there's so little time left.
And a foul was called on Meredith right there. So the Knights take their time to set up the free kick. We're now under a minute to go. Knights with possession.
Some good defense even by Meredith in these last few seconds, just really just trying to prevent not anything else from going down.
And good defense played by Haley Gadd. And the ball will roll deep into the Knights' defensive end. And there we have the final 3 seconds ticking off the clock. And with that, Southern Virginia will earn the victory here this evening over Meredith by a score of 2-0. Goals coming off the foot of Natalie Blazer and Zoe Warner, both of them assisted by Ashley Kelsey. So, a well-played game by Meredith. They battled, they took the brunt of the offensive push by Southern Virginia throughout much of this game and held them scoreless, for a good portion. But in the end, they just couldn't have enough. They didn't have enough of that offensive push to find a goal of their own.
Exactly. They did, like you said, they played some really great defense, being able to withhold Southern Virginia in that first half. But you can only do so much with your defense. You need to have it on both sides. And Southern Virginia was really able to execute that today as they played some wonderful defense, but they also excelled in their offense, being able to apply that pressure on Meredith, but also really just get a good run tonight.
So as we mentioned, with this victory, Southern Virginia advances to the semifinals of the USA South Conference Tournament, where they will face Greensboro on Wednesday. We'll await the time that will be set, but that will happen here in Buena Vista. Knights have the home field advantage for the next round with this victory. And they'll be looking to get another victory and hopefully qualify for the final match a week from tonight.
Yes, that's exactly what you want. You want to be able to make it to that championship, and you really want to just be playing your best. You want to put your best foot forward, and you really want to just be doing the best you can.
So congratulations to Meredith on a game well played as their season comes to an end. We wish them and their coaches all the best and safe travels back down to Raleigh. And again, Southern Virginia, they'll continue their season here on Wednesday evening. We want to thank everybody for joining us on another production from Knights Broadcasting. As always, thank you for joining us. I'm Colby Kemp with CC Bands. Have a good evening, and as always, go Knights.